7:38 at KPEL. Good morning. It's Katie and It's Morning News with Rob and Bernie. Day one of the experiment.
Day one, I love
or
that.
The experience.
I like. How about the experience and the experiment?
I like it.
It makes us seem fun, but yet sort of edgy in a strange way.
Dangerous. I'll tell you one guy who's not dangerous. On the phone with us, Congressman Dr. Charles Boustany. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Great to be with you all this morning.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. All right, so I saw this yesterday. I was like, boy, I can't wait to ask about this. So I get these press releases from your office, and it's different things maybe that we've already talked about or things that we might say that we're going to talk to you about in the future. But the name of the press release in the subject line was called "Stop It," and I thought, oh, what?
He's getting serious here.
Yeah. And you know what's really serious, obviously, and has been, are issues with the VA. So why did you feel the need for this press release, and tell us what you've been thinking?
Well, we are not seeing the kind of change needed in the VA. Our veterans are still not being treated appropriately by this bureaucracy. And, whether it's timely payment for emergency claims, look, the VA is not doing their job, and our veterans are suffering because their credit ratings get hit. And I've got a bill that I've introduced that basically says that if somebody, a veteran goes to a hospital for emergency care in their own community, the VA right now is currently delaying these claims processing ad nauseum. It's going on and on.
Yeah.
What I would do with this bill is basically force the VA to turn it over through competitive bidding to an outside contractor that does this for a living and does it well. That's what Medicare does. That's what TRICARE does. So why would we keep this with the incompetent VA? It's just time to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean,
and let's just get it right. And look, if that contractor doesn't get it right based on benchmarks, then you can fire them. If they don't meet performance standards, you're fired, and you get another one. And you find the most qualified claims processing entity to do this. Take care of the veterans, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know, and it just doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but boy, they do make it hard. And okay, so statistics show that the VA has $788 million in emergency claims in terms of a backlog.
Right.
That's an astonishing amount of money.
That's an astonishing amount of money. So think about a hospital not being paid. And I've heard from our hospitals all throughout Acadiana and Southwest Louisiana not being paid on time. The veterans get a massive bill. They're under the impression that the VA's covering this. And, it starts to reflect on their credit rating.
Absolutely.
The ambulance service. You talk to Acadian Ambulance, they got this problem. I mean, this is just unacceptable. It's incompetence magnified, and we got to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can we take a step back, really, and look at the number of emergency claims? Maybe the issues wouldn't turn into emergency situations if the regular care was given.
We're better.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean...
Right. Well, that's exactly right. And what we've been trying to do, there's a number of things. One, getting the clinics with expanded services, whether it's in Lafayette or Lake Charles, is an important step. And secondly, expanding the choice program so that if a service is not immediately available, the veteran can get that care in the private community that they live. And I think that's an important improvement. I want to expand that program to help our veterans access it even more fully to get top-notch care. There's no reason why they shouldn't get the very best care available, period.
I'm curious as far as the veterans clinic status for Lake Charles, but obviously for Lafayette as well. What can you tell us?
Well, Lafayette's under construction. If you pass by the site over in Ambassador Caffrey, you can see the construction ongoing. And we have the interim or Campus B clinic that's operational. In Lake Charles, the construction, I think, is slated to start any day now. And we have the operation of the B campus in place, and they're bringing on a second medical team. And I'm watching to see exactly when they'll get that on board. It should be any time now. And we're staying on. And in fact, I was on a phone call with the new head person in Alexandria. God knows we've had enough of them, but this guy is supposedly now a permanent fixture there. He was on the call with Deputy Secretary Sloan Gibson, along with Senator Vitter and I, and we have we have basically said, look, we're watching. We have high expectations. We do not want any more delays. And if there's any inkling of a delay or a problem, we want to know immediately about it.
Yeah.
And then finally, I said, don't wait till this building is constructed to start, lining up staff. You need to start now.
Yeah. They need to do exactly what the private sector would do.
Well,
make sure
right.
the people are ready and that those people are ready and in line and ready to go.
And if not, get out.
Yeah.
If not, you're fired. I mean, really, I feel like this entire situation could have all be fixed if the people who were involved were afraid of their jobs. Like, look what we're dealing with here, even with the oil industry. I mean, people have to have some sort of motivation. You'd like to think it shouldn't take that much. It shouldn't take or you're going to be fired situation to get people to do their jobs, but it seems like that's what it's come to.
Well, there's one word to describe it: unions. And that's the problem. It's these public service unions, and the heads of these agencies don't have the guts to confront these unions in contract negotiations. And so this is something I've tried to change. I was actually successful on a short-term basis in stopping that kind of activity with the IRS, but this new commissioner has brought it back, despite what warnings were. And same thing with the VA. We actually introduced legislation last year to allow for firing more easily with this incompetence in the VA, and we just have not been able to move that all the way through. That's no excuse. We got to keep going until we actually fix this problem.
One final thing as we're wrapping up, if individuals like the gentleman from Abbeville who is having a heck of a time getting his ambulance bill paid, or any of our veterans folks are having issues with bills, where's your Lafayette office, and where do folks go to maybe try to get some help?
I have staff that focus on this, and believe me, it's taking all of their time.
Yeah.
Working with veterans throughout our region, taking their complaints and working it through the VA. And what individuals will have to do is sign a privacy release, because this is private personal information. So they can, if they'll call my office at 235-6322, they'll be given specific instructions on whether they can fax it over, or if they have to deliver a privacy statement over, a signed privacy statement. But we'll go to bat, and we've helped a lot of veterans, I can tell you, and we want to help more. We do not want any veteran being abused by this process. And until we can fix the process completely, we will work those individual cases nonstop.
Congressman Charles Boustany has been our guest, sir. Thank you very much for the information this morning. We certainly appreciate it. Good to talk with you.
Great to be with y'all. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
7:46 now at KPEL.
Sorry.
What do you got to say?
I was jumping over. I was about to say 7:46, and I was like, but he did it.
So we can agree.
Totally.
It's 7:46 right now.
Sorry.
We'll be back after this.